APELL is a program from ONU. It means to alert and prepare the community for local emergencies. It serves exactly to take the population from one side of the determined place where this population has to live with constant risk. The APELL involves two basic aspects: the awareness of the community related to possible dangers that exist when manufacturing, handling, and also the usage of such dangerous materials, and what are the measures taken by the authorities and industries in the way to protect the local community.
Exercícios conjuntos, exercícios coletivos ou simulado como
combined drills and collective drills or the mockings serve exactly to train and make it easier any procedure that can happen with a community that lives or are close by to these risks in a site that could provoke a future accident. Transpetro supports the APELL plan because it's a citizen program where the people of the community have chosen to prepare themselves so that they know how to behave in an emergency situation. It is a policy of the enterprise to create together with the community capacity programs, educational programs, and APELL. Job is very important in this area.
O importante é essa parceria que mostra para a população.
The importance is the partnership that can show the population which lives around the central district of the city. For those who don't know, there is a great concern about Petrobras activities. So APELL has two directions. The first, which is the fundamental, the behavior at the time of leaving any place. In case of an accident, the second is to be aware of incidents or accidents today. Therefore, Petrobras here, the possibilities are very small. The community is warned in advance so there can be a partnership of all in the operation. The control house of Transpetro is started up. The supervisor is communicated that there is a fire underway in 2 tanks with petroleum. The Transpetro supervisor goes to check out the area. The civil defense is alerted by Transpetro about the incident. Immediately the support and leaders of the groups of APELL are put into action.
Processo APELL para eventual entrada em ação.
The chief of civil defense is sent to the incident place. The civil defense, together with Transpetro, put APELL into operation. They elaborate a plan of action with consultation of the manual, which is the base for the formation of the operation. In the location of the areas of risk and how to proceed the evacuation of these areas, a siren will ring and the plan is in action. The responsibility of the civil defense in APELL happens within the community, that is, outside the Petrobras area. Everything that is related to safety of the community, the evacuation of areas, you dislocate people to a point out of risk. Receive these people, register these people, take these people to our shelter here in Sao Sebastiao at the Municipal Gymnasium. All this part that is done for the safety of the community is of the responsibility of the civil defense. The firefighters of Transpetro follow to the scene of the fire and position themselves to fight the fire. We here there are trainings and mockings so that the simulation estimates what the people have learned during the trainings, and the objective is to minimize the risk that we offer, not only to our people but also to the community. Then we work together with APELL. We here doing our combat, our emergencies in a fire or a leakage, together with the civil defense doing its part outside. The isolation teams fighting and removal help and shelter are already heading to the district indicated as a risk area. So for the firefighters it's important because depending on the district that will be evacuated, There are lanes that we won't be able to use because people will be using them to exit. So we must use alternative lanes during the simulation, and that can be used by our vehicles. So in a real situation, we already know which way is the shortest way. That is the situation that we have to attend first. So that there is no hassle or other accidents during the evacuation, which is generally a situation of panic. So it is important that the firefighters know exactly the situation as real as possible. We will be informed by the civil service by radio of this simulation. Together with Petrobras, we will be dislocating ourselves from our department to strategic points of the city, avoiding vehicle conflicts and town people, heading to the place where the simulation is taking place. APELL obeys with great efficiency the alert warning. After the community hears the siren, they have been advised to tune into the Morada FM, who have been put on alert by the civil defense, and they will inform the population about the real situation of the accident. It is necessary to evacuate the part of the green sector between the streets Armando Salles de Oliveira and Nossa Senhora da Paz, and street Jaime Carmelli and Reed Orzelli. The dwellers of the area should head calmly to the meeting point of the green sector that is located on the square of Benedito Ladislau Moraes, informed the civil defense. The hit district schools are ready to evacuate the buildings because of the capacity of APELL's plan to train and inform the responsible people. The district police begins to remove the operation of the prisoners. The biggest civil police concern and the sectional police station is to evacuate prison. Today we have an average of 180 interns on an area of risk, so we must be integrated with the plan so we can evacuate quickly. The inmates will leave this way. Handcuffed, they will be put on buses and taken to the sport gymnasium that we have in the center of town, where they will be under vigilance until the situation is back to normal. The civil defense has records of the population that show houses of people who have locomotion difficulties. These homes get special attention or treatment to evacuate the area. Help goes out to the victims with great efficiency during its operation. Surrounding Petrobras area, there are 6 schools within the 2,000 homes. We will gather nearly 10,000 people. The schools have 1,000 students for each period, in average. Imagine if you don't have this data, if you don't have this alert plan and preparation, what would these 10,000 people and 1,000 students do for each period? They would be disorientated, running from one side to the other, and the participation of the civil defense is exactly to make possible the interaction and how to act so that we may preserve the good order of the situation in an eventuality of the emergency, and so you can make possible that the civil defense can use its principal function, that is to protect lives. Help goes out to the victims with great efficiency during its operation. During the plan execution, a feedback of all operations is being made.
A avaliação ela serve para mostrar
The evaluation served to show APELL's level at Sao Sebastiao, to show the positive points of having APELL and the opportunities to improve, that is, what we can do to improve the result of the simulation.
A movimentação da comunidade é tranquila.
The movement of the community is calm. All head to the point of reunion determined by the civil defense. The population helps so that the APELL's plan is applied with safety and success. Approximately 800 people head to the grand finale, the great final celebration party. I work here. Can you imagine if there was a fire and we aren't prepared? So I think this is very important, this simulation that you do. Because once I went through this many years ago, there was a fire at a canal. We were petrified, running from one side to another. We ran into the streets desperately. So this serves to orientate us what we must do. It's good. The campaign is good. It's directing, orientating. In the U.S., what we saw was a constant training, 2 or 3 times a year, and when there was a fire, sometimes people had trained. They really followed the procedures, and that avoided deaths.
A comunidade
The
agradece.
community thanks the APELL plan for generating life quality. With knowledge, safety, and prevention, we avoid many accidents.
Evita-se muitos acidentes.
We know that the accidents kill, principally by panic, because people take wrong attitudes. They enter into despair. When you have simulated situations, you have done it several times. When an accident happens, you know exactly what to do.
São as pessoas que decidem se vão se submeter a uma situação de risco e elas que estão lá prontas e elas devem avaliar no momento da realização do seu trabalho. É nesse momento que as pessoas têm que avaliar de forma adequada o risco ao qual elas vão estar submetidas. Todas as tarefas do nosso dia a dia, todos os trabalhos que a gente realiza no dia a dia, eles representam um risco, eles têm um risco na sua execução. E o que a gente faz? A gente aprende no dia a dia a como lidar com esses riscos. Desde criança a gente aprende que não se coloca dedo na tomada porque pode tomar um choque, a gente aprende a não mexer com água quente porque pode se queimar. Ou seja, em todas as atividades a gente aprende no dia a dia a como se comportar frente a condições de risco. Então, um dos grandes compromissos da empresa é de treinar e mostrar para as pessoas todos os riscos a que essas pessoas estão submetidas durante o seu trabalho na indústria. Então, a grande preocupação que a gente tem é no sentido de mostrar para as pessoas como que elas conseguem avaliar se existe uma condição de risco, qual é o risco e como administrar esse risco, como tornar este risco alguma coisa que não venha a se consolidar, não venha a se transformar num acidente.